Okay guys, so today is the 28th of January, which means it's going to be the last video of 2023 that I'm uploading on this channel. So as I have done for the last 2 or 3 years, in today's video I'm going to be going over the entire timeline of Star Wars gaming in 2023. Now there could very well be a few things missing, so if you think I've missed anything out then please do let me know in the comments. But without wasting any more time, let's just jump straight into it. So starting off, of course, in January, on the 1st of January, so the first day of the year, Julian Geraghty tweeted teasing that it's going to be a big year for Ubisoft and Massive Entertainment when it comes to Star Wars, which obviously it was, but I will get onto that later on. Around the 9th of January as well, or just that week, OneSpeed, who is a Star Wars Hunters creator, did some data mining for Star Wars Hunters and found a bunch of stuff regarding other hunters, ranked play, and just more. So that was a pretty exciting day as a Star Wars Hunters YouTuber. And throughout the year there were even more data mines as well, which is really good from each update, so I'll get onto those updates later on as well. Then on the 17th of January, Star Wars Demolition got upscaled and released for PS4 and PS5. Now Star Wars Demolition is actually a little bit like Star Wars Hunters, but it's with vehicles and not people, and it was really fun. I think it came out in like 2000 or something, so it's really old now, but they upscaled it, essentially remastered it for PlayStation 4 and 5, which is really exciting. And finally, on the 31st of January, we got the unfortunate news that Star Wars Jedi Survivor was being delayed to April 28th, so it was about a 6-week delay. So they're all the major events from January, but now we have February, which on the 2nd we got a LEGO Star Wars Castaways update, where we got a bunch of new clone skins for the Clone Wars. And then 5 days later, on the 7th, we then got our first look at Star Wars Jedi Survivor gameplay from IGN. And throughout February then we got even more stuff. I haven't noted down specific ones because it was almost like every 2 days. But throughout all of February we just got new Star Wars Jedi Survivor gameplay and details, so that was a very exciting month. Now we go into March, which is one of the biggest months of the year for sure. So on the 1st of March we got Stig Asmussen, so the creative director of Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. He then teased in an IGN interview that Star Wars Jedi Survivor will get a sequel, or that at least a third Jedi game is likely going to happen, because he's always seen Jedi as a trilogy. Now on the 3rd of March we then got some leaks regarding some Star Wars Fortnite skins around new characters releasing at some point within the year, which of course they did, but we'll get onto that soon. And then on the 6th of March we then got the Jedi Survivor pre-order cosmetics showcased in more detail, and that essentially showcased the entire new system with the way cosmetics are going to work in the game. So that was a very exciting day, because cosmetics are just a huge thing for me with games, and I absolutely love seeing them. And then a day after that, the Hunters Battle for the Arena book released, so some people got it like quite a few days earlier, so we kind of already knew about a bunch of details from this, but the book, which is tied to the game, officially released on the 7th, and that confirmed to us more characters like Tuya, for example, who was a Twi'lek, which still isn't in the game, but we do know about her, so that is very exciting. Also on the 7th, Star Wars Hunters got a big update, and it soft launched into some major European countries like Italy and Belgium, I think, along with a few others, and it also introduced to us a new map, which was the Mos Espa way station. Now on the 9th of March it was said that Star Wars Eclipse will be at Celebration in some way, which it wasn't really. It got mentioned once, but I can get onto that in a second. And then 11 days later, on the 20th of March, we got a Jedi Survivor story trailer. And finally on the 30th of March we got the LEGO Star Wars Castaways Revenge of the Sith update, which added a bunch of characters from that film. And that marks the end of the LEGO Star Wars Castaways updates, because after that they've just been recycling the same old stuff. Now what this means for the game we don't actually know, whether it's just going to stop getting updates full stop, or whether they will sort of come back to it eventually with more things. We will just have to wait and see, but I do have hopes that the game will get some kind of return. Now we go into April, which was a very exciting time for us. Obviously we had Star Wars Celebration in here, and on the 9th of April we had the Jedi Survivor final gameplay trailer, and that was released at Star Wars Celebration, and I was there at the stage when they revealed it, which was awesome. So Celebration in general was a very exciting time for Star Wars fans, but as a Star Wars gamer it wasn't too crazy. It was just the gameplay trailer for Jedi Survivor. Star Wars Eclipse was mentioned once in a High Republic panel that I was at, but nothing was really said about it other than the fact that it was happening, so in a way it was there, but it mostly wasn't, and hopefully we'll get some more details on it in 2024. Now on the 13th of April, Jedi Survivor went gold, so that it finished development, which is great news, because this was about 2 weeks before it was due to release. On the 27th of April, so the day before Jedi Survivor came out, Anakin was confirmed to be coming to Fortnite, and that had a release date of May 2nd, and then a day later Jedi Survivor then released. Going into into May, Anakin, Padme, Maul, and 6 clones on May 2nd released into Fortnite, which was just absolutely insane. It was by far my favourite Fortnite update with Star Wars, and I still use most of these skins all of the time, so that was a great day. On May 4th, it was pretty quiet, but we did get a Luke Starkiller minifigure come to LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, so that was pretty neat, and since then we've obviously not had anything with LEGO Star Wars, but there were rumours at some point about there being a Mandalorian Season 1 and potentially Season 2 DLC for LEGO Star Wars releasing, but I don't think anything's really come from that. And whilst this wasn't official news, it was said by VGC that a second Star Wars RTS game, so real-time strategy, was in development, but we've not heard anything else about that. It was just sort of one and done, so I don't really know how true this is going to be, but we will just have to wait and see. On the 17th of May, Star Wars Hunters was then said to be releasing in fiscal 2024 following a Take-Two interactive investor call. And then on the 22nd of May, it was rumoured that Ubisoft, a massive Star Wars game, was said to be releasing in early 2024, but it might have to be pushed back to later on. Now at the time I was definitely skeptical about this, and May was clearly a big month for rumours, but in June on the 11th, Ubisoft and Massive Entertainment revealed their Star Wars open world game, obviously we now know as Star Wars Outlaws, and we got a trailer with that at the Ubisoft showcase for the Summer Games Fest. And a day later, on the 12th, Star Wars Outlaws gameplay then got released, which was about 10 minutes or so of gameplay, which was pretty insane, so that was all very exciting. And then a day after that, we then got another huge Star Wars Hunters update, where Diego released into the game, so he was the first hunter to release into the game for over a year. So these 3 days was hugely exciting, but that is all that happened in June. And then nothing really happened in July other than the fact that around the 14th, or just sort of mid-July in general, Respawn was said to be hiring more and more people for the Star Wars Jedi team. Now whether this was for the third Star Wars Jedi game, we didn't know, but on August 1st it was announced that Jedi Survivor will be coming to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. We've not heard any more details about that since this August 1st announcement, so my expectation is that it will probably release at some point this year. So I imagine the hiring of more developers could have been mostly for this PS4 and Xbox One announcement, but at the same time developers are being hired for the story team and everything else, so I think realistically they are currently working on the PS4 and Xbox One version, but I think that could be a smaller team, whereas the main team for Star Wars Jedi are working on the next game. Now a week later on the 8th, Take-Two had another earnings call, and they once again stated that Hunters is due to release in fiscal 2024, so it was no different to what was said in May, but it was good to have this reiterated as that was obviously a 3-month time jump from there. And then a couple weeks later, on the 23rd of August, we had the Dark Forces remaster announced, which was being done by Night Dive Studios, and at some point in October or November they then announced the release date for that, which I think is some point in February, which I actually forgot to include in this timeline later on, but that does, I believe, have a release date. Okay, so I've just checked that, and earlier in October this year we then got a release date for this, which was the 28th of February 2024. So a day after, Ahsoka was then announced to be coming into Fortnite, but because she was the bonus skin, she wouldn't come until later in September. Moving on into September then, on the 12th, Star Wars Hunters got a huge new update, which was probably the biggest one they've ever done, or at least the biggest update in 18 months, because they added a Death Star 2 map, so a completely brand new map and planet into the game. They added Char, which was another new hunter into the game, and then they added a new game mode, which was Trophy Chase, and even more. 10 days later, on the 22nd of September, Star Wars Eclipse then got a bit of news, which was just confirming that it is still happening, which was really good to hear, but it was just the fact that it's not ready just yet, which is why we've just not really heard anything about it, but hopefully we will hear more soon. And then a week after that, the KOTOR remake trailers were removed off the PlayStation socials, which sparked a lot of concern within the fandom, and throughout October and November there was even more sort of speculation and stuff by the likes of Jeff Grubb saying that it was in hell, or that it just wasn't being made, or that it won't happen, but nothing has been said as of yet really, so my fingers are crossed that it is still happening. So moving into October, on the 15th, Minecraft Path of the Jedi was announced, and this is a Minecraft DLC that you can buy in the Minecraft store, and it's essentially just a short Clone Wars story which you can complete within 2 to 3 hours, but it was a huge amount of fun, and that was announced on the 15th. Then on the 31st, Star Wars Hunters released a Char behind the scenes trailer, and this revealed to us their plans for global launch of having 14 hunters and everything, so launch felt very, very close to happening, but we didn't have a release date yet, so there was a lot of skepticism nonetheless. And it was in between here, I think, like I said, on the 24th, that Dark Forces Remaster got its release date announced. And then we move into November. So on the 7th of November, Minecraft Path of the Jedi released, which was a huge amount of fun. And then the day after that, Star Wars Hunters was delayed into 2024. Before this, obviously, we knew that it was being released within fiscal 2024, but officially it was still said to be releasing in 2023. So this delay into 2024 wasn't necessarily too concerning because it was still fiscal 2024, which is any time up until March 31st next year. However, this delay to me honestly makes me think that it's going to be releasing much later next year, because I think Outlaws could be releasing in Q2, but I'll get into all of that in my next video, which is my 2024 predictions for Star Wars gaming. And finally, in December, we've not really had anything said other than the fact that Lego Fortnite released, and all but 5 of the Star Wars skins in Fortnite came with it. So we got some Lego Star Wars skins in Lego Fortnite basically, so it's not really proper Star Wars gaming news, but we just had nothing else to say, so I just wanted to include it. And that does put us into 2024. So like I said, the next video I'm releasing will be my predictions for 2024 with Star Wars gaming. That will be releasing on New Year's Day, so the 1st of January 2024. This is a bit of a wider view on the Star Wars gaming timeline of this year. It's certainly a lot smaller than 2023, but it definitely felt good this year, I think, all things considering. It would have been a bigger year had Star Wars Hunters actually released, but I think next year is going to be really good. So make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all things Star Wars gaming in 2024. It should hopefully be a very big year for us fans with Outlaws and Hunters, Dark Forces Remastered, and hopefully even more. That is it from me today though. Thank you all very much for watching. Have a happy new year, and may the Force be with you always.